Hello. So, this formlessness, it alone appears as all form. It alone appears as everything. It is nothing being everything, you could say. And this formlessness, it appears as the subtle and as the dense or as everything. And it alone appears as the illusion of an apparent self. And as an illusion of the apparent self, it seemingly weaves yarns, it weaves stories around this apparent illusion, and as the apparent illusion that there is an individual identity that is born, lives, and dies. And apparently, when those yarns are woven, or the stories are made, or they're knit basically, it seemingly appears owning endeavors. It deems that it alone performs as everything. It is the one that is doing, and is it owning. It not only possesses and owns apparent stuff, it also owns those endeavors and that illusion and everything. It deems that it is the doer. It that illusion, that story, then apparently there is a creator, there is a doer, there is the doing that which is done, there is cause, there is effect, there's all that kind of a paraphernalia, you could say. And it apparently then seemingly goes on and on and on as this, you know, you could say that infinite, goes on and on. And that apparent owning of endeavors, that apparent owning of the doership, that I am performing, that I am doing, and then apparently going to deep sleep, and then awakening and owning that sleep and owning that doing, that day, that this is me here, this is the self here, and I'm doing this. So that doing, that apparently is reincarnation. That is apparent, that appearing and owning. And then apparently when there is deep sleep, or when there is nothing, when there's just apparent work going on, there's no self appearing, that is its apparent death. So that is the reincarnation that is apparently mentioned in many of the scriptures, that it appears, owns, that I'm doing so and so, or I am living, or I've taken birth, I'm dying, and this is me. And then it apparently seemingly ceases and then appears again. So this is the apparent reincarnation that is spoken of. And then it apparently self, then with the yarns which it weaves or it knits, it apparently imagines that there is a world. I won't say it imagines, because the self is not an identity, it's an illusion, and an illusion does not exist. It's the formlessness that is appearing as the illusion, deems that there is a world out there, there is this universe, there is the self, there are others. And this, till the apparent seeming self appears, the world appears, the universe appears, the cosmos appears, others appear. When the apparent self does not appear, like in deep sleep, nothing appears. There is no self, there is no world, there is no doing, there's nothing. And that nothing alone is appearing as all form. It alone is. And that, but apparently, that nothing alone appears as the illusion of self, and then deemingly, and why this cannot be known. And this apparent self, then the yarns it weaves, then it weaves that there is something called spirituality, and there is something that I have to gain or I have to lose. And then this apparent world appears, and this world, then there is this is spiritual, this is not spiritual, this is what is necessary, this is what is important, this is the goal of life. And then it wants to gain something, achieve something, apparently, and wants to lose it. And then it imagines, I won't say it imagines, but yes, the formlessness as the illusion imagines that there is something called life, and then life after death. And then then there's an imagination of heavens and hells, where the apparent, so there's a lot of that paraphernalia, that is apparent yarns that are built. This is heaven, this is what has got to be achieved, and this is the hell that has to be forsaken. Or if there are other scriptures which will say this is the self that has to be found, or the soul that has to be realized by, say, this mantra, or it has to be, the self has to be got rid of. All these are apparent stories of gaining things, of losing things. And then it apparently goes on and on with this reincarnation of this is has to be achieved, this is has to be got rid of, and this, I have to get rid of the self, I have to get rid of this the ego, or whatever, or I'm a victim, I still have time to get there, or there is something not right about this soul and somehow it has to keep reincarnating till it achieves liberation, or now liberation has to be gained by doing XYZ, by sitting still or whatever, and or liberation has to be gained, or there is nothing that I can do, or I have ended. There's that's another one. I'm not there anymore, or nothing. It's just simply the formlessness forming. There is no other. There is no, the parent self is simply an illusion. It cannot do anything because it does not exist. Whatever is apparently happening, it's apparently appearing to happen. I wouldn't even say it's happening because nothing's happening. It's just apparently appearing to happen. And this is unconditional love. And someone asked me about, someone was speaking, I was talking to someone about unconditional love. Unconditional love is simply what is appearing to happen. It's not like uh, a business. Unconditional love also appears as a business, of course, because it is unconditional to appear as business. But the love that is apparently woven in these yarns of illusion of the self, that uh, you have to make me happy, or I possess this is my child, or this is my partner, or this is my that, and somehow I'm very happy with your presence, or I laugh in your presence, or this is my ex responsibility, or that is my right, or all these are simply yarns that are woven. That is just a business kind of love, which is an illusion. And of course the self is also an illusion, which the formlessness alone appears as that. But that's unconditional love, is that it is everything. It is pain, it is uh, joy, it is sadness, it's everything. And this is unconditional love that can appear as anything and everything. There is no one sitting out there in judgment. There is no other. There is no one. There is no individual or some entity performing all this. All is simply the formlessness dancing as that form, alive and anew, with no one there to gain it, to lose it, to understand it. There is no volition in singing this song of unconditional isness or immediacy, or form, or formlessness, or whatever, formlessness forming. There's no volition in anything. It's simply what the formlessness is appearing as. Why? That can never be known because there is no other to know it. I can't even say never be known because there's no such thing as time, but there is no other to know it. It's simply formlessness forming, appearing as that, even trying to understand itself or know itself. That's too is the formlessness. And thank you so much. I'll be taking a break for a few weeks. And thank you.